Hey everyone, I'm here today to do a video that isn't actually a booktube video, so apologies if that was what you were looking for. I will be back on doing that soon, but I feel like I just need to get something off my chest before I can even think about doing all that kind of stuff, because this has been preying on my mind for weeks and weeks, possibly even months, maybe even years. Who knows? I'm sure that a lot of people have been through this as well, so I just wanted to make something to get my voice out there and have a good rant about it, because I feel like I haven't ranted to enough people yet. So what I am talking about is graduation, and that might not instill fear in some of you. I presume a lot of you have graduated from uni or whatever you did. Or on the other hand, maybe you're at uni and you're doing a fabulously vocational course and you know exactly what you're doing in a few years' time, and that's fine for you, you know, you do you. But I have this real issue at the moment where I'm graduating with an arts degree in a few months' time, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing with my life. When I googled what I could do with my music degree, it came up with an article in the student room, a forum post, with someone saying, well, you goofed it, you screwed up your life. And it wasn't a one-off. Every single person was saying that, and it makes me so angry, because why do we undervalue the arts like that? And because of this, because we undervalue the arts, there are basically no graduate schemes out there. So those of us who are doing arts-based degrees, we're stuck until graduation, and then we have to get a job. All these people who are happy to go into finance or things like that, all the things that the big grad schemes are targeted at, they can apply months in advance, and I know so many people already they've got into masters or they've got into a grad scheme, and I am just so envious of people who are in that position, because I don't know what I'm doing. This is the first time in my life I've ever not had a plan, and I really hate winging it. I'm one of those perfectionist people who has to have things laid out in front of them. And then that got me to thinking, I've always had a plan. Why have I always had a plan? And I think this is actually, it kind of goes back to the education system that we're raised in here in the UK, or maybe it was just my school, because I went to a very high achieving state school, and I'm assuming like maybe private schools are the same. It's maybe not the case for schools in more deprived areas, and I don't mean to say that like in any kind of dismissive way. I realise that I have a whole lot of privilege here in saying that. When I was at school, there was no preparation for anything. You got guided through your university application, you know, you did UCAS, you had your UCAS tutors, but we were never told anything else. We weren't told anything about jobs, we weren't given any networking skills or anything like that that we might need after university. Basically my school's goal was make sure everyone gets at least like 3 or 4 A's and get them into university. Everything was targeted at that, and there was basically nothing provided for people who didn't want to go down that route, which, for the record, was actually quite a lot of people in my year who are all doing reasonably well for themselves now and seem happy. But I can't help but wish that they could have provided that information at a younger age. Much as I enjoy university, I kind of feel like it's really small-minded to assume that that's what everyone wants to do. And it just makes me really angry, because if we're not being told that anything else is worth doing and we're not trained for anything else, then this is what happens. You have people like me and people like my friends who get to the end of 4 years doing a non-vocational degree at university and then going, well, what do we do now? It just makes me really mad. And I suppose one of the arguments maybe schools would use for not teaching us about other options and not helping us with any life skills is the fact that they'll say, you'll learn that through experience, you'll learn that through university, you know, you'll do stuff there that'll help you. And you know what? That is bullshit, because I've gone through 4 years and basically I haven't been told any of this stuff. You know, I moved into my first flat and suddenly it was like, oh my god, what are bills? You know, you're not told how to do any of that stuff at school. So we're taught really useless crap that only a small minority of people will use, but we're not told how to use these life skills. We're not told how to pay bills or rent a flat or basic legal issues that we might come up against when we're first finding our feet independently. We're just told, go to university, everything will be taken care of, and then because you've been to university you will get an amazing job. Nah, doesn't work like that, especially not in this job market. The next thing that I want to address is this pressure that sort of, again, stems from school, that when you graduate you have to do something really high powered, and it makes me really, really frustrated, because maybe I'm just saying this as a music graduate and I'm going back to that thing in the student room and suddenly it all makes sense that I did a useless degree. But yeah, because at school they're obsessed with you getting the best marks, and good marks equals good university, and good university equals good job. You expect that that will be the progression. So here I am sitting thinking, well, I got 8 A's at standard grade, I got 5 A's at higher, and I got 2 A's and a B in advanced higher, and here I am sitting on track for a first with no fucking clue what I'm doing with my life. And because we've been surrounded by this rhetoric that's like university always equals good job, it's made me think that everything that I can aspire to in the short term is just not good enough. We've been taught to look down on people who work in shops or work in cafes, or worst of all, work at McDonald's, when actually, you know, these people, maybe it's not their life's aspiration, but everyone has to have a stopgap. Everyone has to do that thing where they're proactively doing something for themselves, they're making money, and you know what? That's as good as any high-powered job you could be doing. Sure, you're not saving lives, but why is there anything wrong with working in a shop? Why do we have this fixed image that that's something that uneducated people do, and once you've got a degree you've got to be off doing something fancy? I know that in the long run, in 5 to 10 years time, I would quite like to start my own business, and I'm currently in the position of thinking, well, how on earth do I actually get the skills to go about doing this? I was at a careers appointment earlier and everything she said was perfectly valid and helpful, but you know, it was like, just get an office job or whatever and then do some freelancing music stuff on the side so that you're doing your skills in tandem. And that's fine, that makes perfect sense. But then I was like, well, how do I actually find anything like that that fits in with a full-time job? And she's like, oh yeah, that is a problem. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm just so frustrated by it. Yeah, basically, I think it all comes down to too much pressure to achieve, not enough emphasis on non-vocational courses and arty things, and being creative and being our full, wonderful, beautiful selves out with this very square office context that they want everyone to fit into. Yeah, I feel like I might have exhausted the rant here. I'm sure I was going to say something else that kind of tied this together in a cohesive way, but here I am, I'm just kind of shouting at my camera in my bedroom, and maybe that's what I'll be doing for the rest of my life, but it makes me happy, and you can't put a price on happiness. Cheesy as it sounds, I feel like in this society, because everyone wants you to go into a high-powered job, they forget about what makes you happy. I mean, all these times, even my dad has said, you should take this job because you'll have money. I have an interview for something and he'll go, yeah, if you get it, you should take it. Despite the fact that I was medically advised not to have a job this year because my happiness would go like that. Because I am so stressed all the time with university and societies and volunteering as it is. Much as I love all those things, I do so much that anything else should be, you know, adding to that. It should be making me happy. I shouldn't be trying to cram up my days just because someone tells me I should do this for the sake of money or whatever. I just want everyone to be happy. I'm sorry for this slight rant about the education system and jobs and arts degrees and life skills and all those other things that I don't have. I really apologise for the fact that I have been speaking through a cold for this whole video, but you know what, this has been preying on my mind for a few days and I just needed to make this and get it out there, and hopefully this has offered some sort of empathy to people who are going through the same thing. I know that there's lots of us out there, so I hope that we all can do something that works for us in the end, even if it's not what everyone else is telling us to do. Bye!